What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another review for Monday Night Raw. This one is from January 30th, 1995. Raw this week begins with a recap of the Bam Bam Bigelow situation. As you might remember from last week, we were going to get an apology from Bigelow, but there were some technical difficulties. They promote that we will get that apology here tonight, though. They show a shot of Bam Bam waiting at another location, which is odd because if it's live, they have him just standing there waiting for whenever they throw to him. Because Bigelow, like if you can picture this, or if I have the clip up, you can see, but he's just like standing there waiting, and obviously they're not gonna go to him first, so he's just standing there. The first match of the night is Mabel versus King Kong Bundy. Unfortunately, none of these guys are on the skip list, so I had to watch this entire match. It was an over-the-top rope challenge though, so it wasn't as bad as it could be. Both these guys trade the upper hand. Bundy hits a splash and Mabel hits an enziguri. After a missed elbow drop to Bundy, he has Mabel on the ropes, and the other members of the $1 Million Corporation come out to help toss Mabel out. King Kong Bundy picks up the win, and Lex Luger comes out afterwards for the save. Why? Who knows? But thank God they were done quick. Next, we get the interview with Bam Bam Bigelow, and Vince mentions that Bam Bam was embarrassed by the kid after he pinned him. Vince asks why he reacted to Lawrence Taylor the way that he did when there were other fans laughing at him as well. He says that Taylor made him feel lower than him when he stuck his hand out for Bigelow to shake it. Tells us that he was going to apologize last week and he doesn't care about the suspension, but instead he throws out the challenge to LT for a match. So we're going to see where that goes. But finally we got Bam Bam Bigelow on the mic. I don't know why they don't have guys that can cut promos more often, but if nothing else good comes out of this feud, at least Bigelow's going to get a bigger spotlight on him, right? So, yeah, I mean, celebrity match, you can do without him in the WWF. I don't understand why they do it so often if they know that nobody likes him. Like, nobody, and it doesn't bring in new fans. Probably in the 90s it did for, like, that one pay-per-view, but, I mean, like, the Pamela Anderson stuff. Lawrence Taylor, like, I don't know how many years he was out of the NFL already at this time. Who is actually watching wrestling if they don't watch wrestling because of the celebrities? If you kind of understand what I'm trying to say, I don't think it brings in new fans. The only way that, at least the way that I got brought into wrestling, it was because of people in school talking about it. Basically, other fans getting me into watching it. It wasn't like, oh, I saw this thing happen, or oh, I saw that Floyd Mayweather, for example, because that was when I was a kid. I didn't see that Floyd Mayweather was going to be at WrestleMania, and I was like, oh, you know what? Hey, let me watch this and become a fan of it. No, it was other people talking about how great other stuff was and how the other wrestlers and the other actual people that were on the roster, how good they were, and that made me want to tune in. So, again, celebrity matches, don't know why they keep doing them, especially with, this is before WrestleMania 38, with Jake Paul, fucking Johnny Knoxville, obviously Ronda Rousey and Brock Lesnar are both, obviously both of those people got, you know, famous more outside of the WWE and the UFC, and there might be like another. Obviously, they're bringing back Austin, Pat McAfee, who's a, you know, famous podcaster, used to be a football player in the NFL. I don't understand, but yeah, let's keep going, shall we? I don't want to make this another 20-minute. I don't want to make this another 20-minute review like last week, even though I did have the Royal Rumble recap in that one. So at least there was a reason why that one was long. But this one, I just want to kind of get through this one, as I have always done. But next up, we have the debut, I believe, of Hakushi. I can't remember already if we've seen him before, or if maybe he was in the Royal Rumble. Can't really remember, but he picks up the win with a running, flipping moonsault. Almost knees the guy in the head. Jobber match, so nothing really else to speak about here. If the previous debuts have shown us anything, with guys like Jarrett or Bob Holly, we're not going to see Hakushi do anything of importance for about another year or so. Then, after they recap the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, we have Aldo Montoya, another guy who won't do anything for a year. He had like this angle with Ted DiBiase, and they didn't really do anything with it. But we got a Slim Jim commercial, and the reason why I mentioned this is because, as bad as they're saying he is, they still promote Bam Bam Bigelow as the new face of Slim Jim, so I thought that was funny, and I thought he got suspended without pay, so is he getting money for these commercials? I don't know. Anyways, Montoya gets an incredible win after he hits a bulldog after coming off the ropes. Next up, we have King's Court with the guest Mr. Bob Backlund. Jerry asked if he heard him correctly If when Backlund procures the crossface chicken wing on an opponent, he will not let go until they scream that they quit. Bob confirms and says that is correct. He will not let go of anyone in the WWF until they say, "I quit, Mr. Bob Backlund." Jerry says that Mr. Bob Backlund wouldn't put it on him, but Backlund is talking about guys like Bret Hart or Diesel. Mr. Backlund says that nobody is exempt. Jerry says that he wouldn't be able to get the hold on him anyways. And then Bob puts him in the hold, and Lawler says, "I quit, Mr. Bob Backlund," right away. Bob Backlund lets go and starts walking away, but the King starts talking shit in the ring, and Bob goes back to get in the ring, but Lawler skedaddles his way out, so it looks like he'll be doing this to poor jobbers from now until WrestleMania. Following that, we are getting the rematch from last week, the Smoking Guns versus the 1-2-3 Kid and Bob Holly for the tag team titles. The Smoking Guns beat them last week to win the titles one night after the Kid and Holly had won them. For the first part of the match, they work on the Kid. Coming back from commercial, Bob Holly gets the tag and hits a dropkick and a clothesline on Bart to get control back on their side. Holly and Bart both go for a crossbody and they collide with each other. The Kid gets the hot tag and cleans house. He goes for a flip from the top rope, but Bart moves out of the way. Billy comes in but notices that the Kid got knocked silly, so he doesn't go for any offense. So the match ends as they check on the Kid. There were 2 separate commercial breaks for this, and then Vince just disregards everything when he says that somehow the Kid just miraculously got up and walked away on his own. Now the move didn't look dangerous or anything, or like it was real, so it was just an angle to get out of the match ending, I'm guessing. But then they just kind of say the Kid is fine, so I have no idea what the point of that was. Why not just do a DQ or a count out? It's not like they haven't done it before. Again, with the weird booking of finishes on Monday Night Raw and for title matches, when they don't want to switch the titles, just do a finish or not have the match. Finally, the show ends with Kama Mustafa in a jobber match. Kama gets the win with a submission. I think the last time that he was on the show, he was Papa Shango back in like 1993 during the King of the Ring season. But he's Kama now, and the show literally fades to black as he picks up the win. And Vince tells us to tune in next week for a 6-man tag match. These notes are from a couple of days ago, so I can't remember what that tag match is, so I guess we'll just get to it next week. This episode, though, is going to get a bad grade. No match was worth watching here. The segments to go back and watch will probably be the Bam Bam Bigelow so-called apology to Lawrence Taylor, and the King's Court with Bob Backlund explaining his gimmick for the next couple of weeks. If we had one decent match, it could have kept the show at a good grade, but they fucked it up with that bad ending to the tag team match. So, with that being said, we got like 2 months until Mania. Right now, the 2 matches that are locked in are HBK versus Diesel and LT versus Bigelow. Bob Backlund and Bret Hart, I think, get paired up again at WrestleMania. I'm actually curious to see where Owen Hart, the Bulldog, Razor Ramon, and guys like that end up. I can't really remember what these guys did at WrestleMania 11, so seeing the build-up might be interesting, and I might care about their match, but we'll see. So far, it looks to be another stinker of a year. Not that I thought it was going to be amazing coming off that terrible year of 1994, but at least this time, we look forward to the build to WrestleMania, right? So far, coming out of the Royal Rumble, I'm not really interested, but who knows, they could turn my interest around. With all that being said, I'm out. I'll catch you guys on the next review.